guys, and welcome back to Collateral Damage. Today we are going to talk about the great and I think amazing subject of social control and social, how we say, controlling you more than having freedoms. Xbox is doing great. You want to know why? They just created a great, amazing system called the Enforcement Strike System. And it is beautiful. You want to know why? This is a great way to show how we are going into more what people feel rather than just, being strong human beings, honestly. So, and it's going to be great, guys. Let's get straight into it because I'm pissed. Because this is pointless. It is horrible. This is far beyond, I think, a breach in just freedom of speech and freedom of just our ability to do what we want. Because last time I remember, the ESRB cannot rate and nor is not reliable, or the system is not reliable for what happens online. But if that is true, that means there is no need and should not have any sort of enforcement system on how people behave online. It literally says on most ESRBs, statements and games that are rated M or higher, that online, or actually almost any activity for any game has a rating that says online activity is not rated. I think viewer discretion is advised. If you go online with people, you are walking into the fact that it is possible someone's going to say some you don't like, and the console is not responsible. The video game, anyone is not responsible other than you. From my understanding, that's what I thought, but apparently nowadays, everyone has to be liable for everything, even though it's not their problem. Let's get into it, though. So the summary is that Xbox's new enforcement strike system educates players about enforcement severity, cumulative effect of multiple enforcements, and the total impact on their standing. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into it. We are constantly improving our safety measures and tools in place that empower players. Okay, see, this is the problem. Xbox, Microsoft, trying to now later on you'll see there's more than just Xbox on here when you realize, but it gets really bad. It gets really, really bad, and I'm gonna try and talk about it without getting a strike or nothing. But I'm pissed. And let's see. So bring most of the tools in place that empower players to respectfully interact with one another, because everyone deserves a place to comfortably be themselves online, free from harassment and bullying. No. If you exist, you will be harassed and bullied, especially when it's in an environment that is completely based on competition. The online area of video games, now yes, it's not just competition, it's supposed to be kind of community based, but most games that have an online chat are competition, but free for all. You speak, you do whatever you need to. But the whole point is that when you get on there, you are waiving your right to being offended. You legitimately are. If I step outside, I waive my right to be alive. I'm not trying to be mean to you guys, but the moment you are born, you waive your right to safety. I'm not trying to be mean. I think the world needs to understand that, because you are not promised tomorrow. And the same thing like here, no one promises you that you're going to be happy. No one promises you that you deserve to just feel safe all the time. No. And if you feel safe all the time, you have no life. If you get offended by every other thing someone says, you're not a fun person. You're not a good person for saying we have a safe community. You're a good person if you say we have an inclusive community. Now, yes, there's a difference between bullying, harassment, legitimate harassment. Legitimate harassment is when the person no longer can actually live a life. That is legitimate harassment. If I say a joke that offends someone, that's not harassment. Also, if it's not a joke that's towards them, I don't care. I'm sorry, I truly don't. The place I work at, actually, I just took a training today for harassment and stuff. And it was very funny because half the stuff I'm just over here I want them to they don't understand. They see it as, if you work here, anything you do while you are having a career here affects us. And I'm over here no, it doesn't. No, the moment I'm off my shift, I have no representation of the business I work in. No offense. And yes, in a way I do, but at the same time, I'm just like, no, my life working and my personal life, completely different things. This is not representative of my working environment. I can change who I am. But it's just, guys, we need to understand that the world cannot be safe. You either have freedoms or you have safety. You cannot have both. Because safety, by definition, has to have rules. Freedom, no offense, is no rules. The ability to choose regardless without... Now, freedom also includes consequences, but, you know, sorry, I have to get into this rant because people just don't understand. They don't, and I'm kind of mad about it. The new system attaches strikes to every enforcement ranging in severity based on inappropriate activity. Inappropriate activity. And also, you'll see later when I pull it up, they even have a list of what they can define. And there's even stuff that says, like, this list is not complete. All actions are not included in this list. So it literally could be anything you do that they deem wrong. You speak about the wrong political side, you speak negative or criticize the wrong political side, I promise you they will strike you. I promise you. Each player will now have a view of their enforcement. What? What is this? This is like the most social, like, socialist thing I've ever seen. God, America, stop. You want to know why half of us want to burn America down and we're Americans? Is because we're just like, we're done. I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of living in a world that's so controlling. If people think I'm going to just sit by and relax, hell no. I will absolutely start fighting back. Each player will now have a view of their enforcement history, including strikes and the overall impact these have on their player. Good thing I don't play online, so they can't do anything. This revised system gives players a better understanding of enforcement severity and the cumulative effect of multiple enforcement. Transparency is about giving players clarity into how their behavior... Okay, see, that is the problem. Humans trying to control other human behavior. Especially when it's at large. And not just at large, but it's also micromanaging at the same time. That is where you stop. If you want to say, hey, we have laws that control behavior in a grand scheme in the sense of morals, like, you know, don't murder, don't steal, that's fine. The moment you start saying, hey, you in your bedroom, you can't be doing that, no, you have crossed lines. Especially when it's online, possibly private chats, and possibly on your own private computers when you use Microsoft products. And I'll show you in a little bit, but this is literally starting to get into like, no offense, but like 1920s and 40s Germany. This is starting to get into very, I would call it communistic ideologues, and I'm not happy about it. Especially when it's a corporation. Not that I understand, but the first person you would think that would start doing this, honestly, would be the government, not corporations. Our content moderation efforts are not changing as a result of the new enforcement. Our content moderation, okay. As always, when a player believes they have witnessed a violation of we encourage them to report. Oh no, they insulted my political group. I want them banned for life to never ever touch an Xbox or a Microsoft product again. Okay, we'll do that for you because you're offended. You see how easily it could be taken out of, like, you see how it could easily, I don't care how many moderators, I don't care who, what, when, where, why, or how, there is a lot of nuance and there's a lot of not just steps, but situations and nuance that could literally just be like, I'm sorry, I'm telling y'all right now, half of like all of Xbox gamers online are probably going to get banned in the next like half a year. Seriously. Because they're going to be like, oh, we saw your history. You said this, you said the N-word. But even though you said that your friend was black and he said that you have the N-word pass, we don't care. And not saying that that's legitimate, but it's just like, let's put it like this. If I offend someone who's 3,000 miles away, I don't care. That doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect them. If they wish to go, then that's on them. Seriously. I am a psychology major. There are some things in this world you cannot stop. If someone wants to go, that is their choice. Should you stop them? Yes, absolutely. But promise you this, if someone really wants to, they'll find a way. As always, when all reports are evaluated, there are no automated enforcement. Okay, yeah, but how many of your people are going to be leftoids that actually are just like, okay, bam, bam, bang, 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 strike, 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 +3, +3. Because remember, some of them are like +3, +4s. So literally, you get one strike on something, boom, you could be banned for like 2 weeks and not play. But remember, you're also buying a game, so when you get banned, you can't play it. You lose the monetary value of your battle pass and all the cosmetics you bought. You literally lose money in this system, and they are trying to enforce it. Because remember, seasons go away. What happens if you got not banned, but what if you got suspended for a very long time, and your season goes away, and you couldn't play, and they're just like, oh, well, boohoo, we're not going to refund. 100% I could see that happening. No volume of inaccurate reports result in an enforcement. Only reports that have been reviewed by the... Okay, what is that team? Is that team neutral? Is that team legitimately neutral? Legitimately, and are they ethically trained to... Honestly, are they judicially trained? Like, do they know judiciary processes? Do they know legitimately how to enforce completely unbiased results and enforcement? Do they? I promise you they don't. They go by Microsoft's version, probably. With the new system, enforcement will also include strikes based on the severity. Yeah. Players have a total of 8 strikes, and once reached, will be suspended from like messaging powers and party time for 1 year. If you get 8 strikes, and remember, 2 of them are like for +3. So you do 3 things in a week, or for some ungodly reason. I don't even think they would allow you to be on there that long in that kind of time frame. In a month, you get a +2, +3, +3, +2, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh yeah, 1 year, you're suspended. That is 120, and not just Xbox. I think it is Microsoft. Okay, it says Xboxes. Oh, let's see. Okay, the system is similar to demerit strikes used in driver's license system. Okay, so you were literally trying to be a judicial force. I understand that you are a business, but you are a business. You are not a judiciary enforcement, how would I say, process. You do not have the, yes, you do have the right, but I think this is overstepping a lot of laws right here, simply because it is far more controlling of actions that cannot be controlled or enforced. And you can say, oh, you don't like it. And it's like, yeah, I don't, because I find this to be ridiculous. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Just making sure y'all can hear me. So for example, a player that has received 2 strikes will be suspended from the platform for 1 day. All right, you're in the middle. Well, I don't think it would happen that quickly. It would probably be reported, and then it would take like a day or 2 or whatever, and then you get suspended from the platform for 1 day. Whereas a player that receives 4 strikes will be suspended for 7 days. So you get 4 strikes. So that's, +3 and +1 for something you don't even remember doing, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a good raid for a week. You can't even play Xbox for a week. Because from my understanding, what was it? Players have a total of 8 strikes, and once reached, will be from social features like messaging parties and party chat, multiplayer and others for 1 year from the enforcement date. So you could literally be forced out of all social interaction on Xbox for a year, all because they deem you a bad person. They deem you a bad person, and other people, not that you actually did anything illegal. It is such a socialist thing that it's just like, God, honestly, at this point, I'm sorry, I don't care about Starfield now. I really want to tell people, please strike and ban, like, go against Xbox. Yes, you can play your games and continue playing your games, but right now, I think a lot of y'all need to literally just be like, I'm done. Because when this stuff happens, I promise you it only gets worse. Never in a million years does someone say, ooh, I got more power. I'm going to release it. I'm going to give the players more power now. I'm going to let them just freely go back to doing, 2010 stuff or whatever, whatever they were doing back then. No, oh, so I got more power and control over people? Yeah, I'm just going to let go of that. No, no one ever does that. There are like 1 in a billion. Does anyone ever do that? Oh, what was it? All strikes received stay on a player's record for 6 months. So you have to be a perfect cookie every 6 months. And you also have to make sure that, remember, 2 strikes gets you like a day. 4 strikes gives you 7. Anything past that is probably like 14 to a year. So remember, the moment you harass someone twice or have hate speech or probably anything else, honestly, like I said, most of you guys literally could just be banned off the spot. And you can't even play Xbox or any multiplayer, anything for a year. Is that a company you want to support? And that's Microsoft. And I'll let you know about something. Like I said, any previous enforcement such as suspension must still be completed. All strikes received stay on today. Players will all begin with a blank slate of 0 strikes. Any previous enforcement such as suspension must still be completed. So right now, if you are under a suspension, you still have to complete it. New enforcement as of today was 0 strikes. With these changes, Xbox they're encroaching upon your freedoms. That's a good way to call it. We're not about safety. We're about controlling you. This is why even suspended accounts remain functional for single player experiences. How many games right now are online? Require online. Have a multiplayer aspect to them that's almost impossible to get rid of and still require you to honestly be with someone in some way, shape, or form. There are so many games right now. Oh, well, wait. Let's see. And players do not lose access to purchase content. However, for the most serious violations, including illegal activity, Xbox retains the ability to permanently suspend all functionality of an account, including access to purchases. So remember, guys, you don't own the product you spent your money on, even though that is literally the entire right of trade. You don't own it. You just own the right to play it. And that is why I think right now, honestly, I think a lot of people need to start calling up some fun attorneys and lawyers and start going, hey, we gotta stop this. I'm sorry, I'm fully on the board with being like, hey, let's Bud Light this. I don't care if Starfield's coming out. I don't care what good games are coming out. This needs to end right now. Because I promise you, this only gets worse. And let's kind of go into it. Xbox retain, because remember this, it says right here, Xbox retains the ability to permanently suspend all functionality of an account, including access to purchases. So, let's say for some ungodly reason, someone said, a lot of people on live streamers have gotten swatted. Let's say someone says they got swatted for a reason. Let's say that a Wokey in Xbox enforcement team goes in and says this was viable. This was a viable reason for complete permanent suspension. But the only reason why any of this occurred was because they were controversial. Controversial, not mean, not offensive, just controversial. Just saying something that other people don't agree with. So people could literally be banned, suspended, and permanently, as of right now, until the day you die, or for that account. So you have to create a new one. But remember, for me, all of my stuff is created from the last 15 years. So I'm not losing my account. And they could just be like, boom, all that money, all that stuff you bought. Also, this is why I say I buy disc. Because when I buy the disc, I am saying I have the right to play this, no matter what Xbox says. So screw you, Xbox. Seriously, you are literally gonna. I really do hope some lawyers come after you. I'm sorry, I'm done. But that's why I buy discs, because that disc says I have the right to play. Literally by the act of trade and my value to buy the game. So this is what it looks like. I know you can't see it, so I got a Hopefully a better one. So, enforcement stacking user journey. Examples of strikes added for each type of action. So each report or type has a certain amount of, a certain value of like how bad it is. And then it says not all actions are represented in this graphic. So you could literally say it literally could say controversy, conspiracy theory. And now obviously illegal activity. That's obvious. That's, you know, redundant. But someone goes up and says, "Man, we found him to be conspiracy theory or a theorist." And then Xbox goes, "That's not good. We can't have that." They say negative things about a group of people that do illegal activities, but we still encourage those people. All right, we have to have him banned. He's against Antifa, even though they've rioted and burned down buildings and killed people. Man, we gotta ban him from Xbox forever. See what I mean? I promise you right now. Man, that person's taking their kids somewhere to castrate them forever and mutilate their bodies against the child's will, even though the child doesn't even know what's going on and they don't have any sort of function to actually, you know, have these medical procedures. And this person disagrees with them. Man, we should ban them. I'm telling you right now, this is something I think you should fight for and honestly fight against. If you are saying, "Oh, we need more of this," we are not going to be friends. We are not going to be friends. We don't need to talk. I'm good. In 2022, fewer than 1% of all players received a temporary suspension, and only 1/3 of those received a second. Okay. Our data shows us that players typically stop in... Okay. What gives you the right to say what is inappropriate behavior, but also who gives you the right to enforce a just general, like, social credit of, like, who does what good? You don't. The Supreme Court and the judiciary system does. When I do something illegal, such as someone has brought a charge against me saying, "Hey, we have proof that you've done an illegal activity, such as theft, burglary, murder, arson, for God's sakes," I don't know, I would never do it, but it's just, or no, graffiti, vandalism. We have a charge against you because you vandalized this bridge by saying "Happy Monday." I don't fucking know. The judiciary system of the country, or whoever wishes to present me papers and charges of legislature saying, "Hey, you have violated this. We wish to bring you to court," they have the right to do that. You do not. You do not control what I do in a game that I want to play. That no offense, but once I buy the game, I do with it as I wish. That's kind of the whole point of the trade. It's not the fact that I have the right to play it, it's the fact that I have the right to buy it and do with it as I wish. And again, the whole point is that once you enter social environments, realistic social environments, you waive your right as a human being naturally to safety. The moment you go into the forest, if you walk out of your city and just go into a forest, you waive your right to safety. You step outside your house, or honestly, like I said, the moment you do anything, you have to waive your right to safety, because the world never promised safety and security. Nothing on this planet is safe. You will die one day. I'm sorry if you didn't know that. Stupid people. There are people out there who's like, "Yeah, no, life's going to be great." It's like, no, it's not. Something bad's going to happen to you. No, I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm not. I'm just letting you know there is a side of, like, negativity that does exist, will always exist. Pain exists. You have to go through it. And now, obviously, like I said, bullying, no. Bullying isn't... Now, I do agree that some slight amount of bullying is okay. You should have some to make you stronger as a human being. Oh, God. Wait, let's go. Typically stop inappropriate after one enforcement. Quickly learning what is and is not acceptable based on the... And how to better engage. Okay, what do you mean by better engage? Do you want us all to be just controlled little sheep? Yes, that's the whole point. The strike system is designed to further empower players to engage. Okay. Competition is rarely positive. It is constructively criticized in a more upwards way, but there are a lot of competitions that are negative in the sense of, like, the behaviors will be negative. I'm sorry, that is how it is. Have you talked to any COD player ever? I promise you this, they've banged your mother, and they'll tell you 20 more times before the game is over. They'll bang your sister too. I don't get it. I'm not a COD player. I can't smack talk. But it's just one of those things of like to say like, oh, we're going to start controlling or make you positive and appropriate is just, that in itself is just inappropriate. Below is a visual what players will see in their enforcement history. Current, 1 out of 8. To avoid constant, please review X. See, active suspensions, 1 day suspension, 1 day remaining. Profanity, 1 strike. Eligible for an appeal. Start, end, expiration. Completed suspensions, you have no previous expired suspensions. You have no like before, players will still have the ability to appeal eligible enforcement where applicable. If an enforcement is reversed, the corresponding strike will be removed for more. Below are some additional safety. Okay, God, that is so. I'm sorry, guys, but I honestly think you should probably just start boycotting Xbox. This is not responsible. I do believe, I think somewhere in this, I do think it actually says somewhere in this that it is possible for them to also go through Microsoft owned processes such as it's not here. Interesting. I think I was watching someone else do this as well, and they said that it was apparently that it would also be applicable to Microsoft applications as well, such as like they could go through your Word and like PowerPoint documents and stuff like that. That any sort of Microsoft application, they had the ability to. Now, do I know if that's true? I don't know. I don't think so. But honestly, I would not put it past Microsoft to legitimately be able to just be like, oh, we're going to look through your stuff and make sure that we enforce everything you do. So that is my 2 cents of the day. And like I said, guys, I really want y'all to get into this and just, I want y'all to like start boycotting this. I want you to start boycotting Xbox. I know that is very hard to say and do, but the way I mean, I've been doing it for a long time now. Yes, I bought a Series X, but that's like my most recent purchase in a long time that does any sort of money. But like I said, guys, please, like, let's think about this. Do you want the freedom to play games and have fun, or do you want to literally be tiptoed and, you know, cattle prodded into literally saying what they want you to say? That it's up to you. You have the choice, especially with your money. Because remember, the moment Microsoft or Xbox starts losing like heavily, they'll change. They will. Bud Light, all these other guys, they change when the money actually starts hitting pockets. I promise you it does. So let's. This is one of those things, like I said, I have noticed games and things in general have just been getting worse down the path ever since I've been growing up, especially since like 2014 and past, from what I remember. Maybe not any major historical things, but just once it hit like 2014, 15, 16, it just went downhill. It just got worse. And I'm pretty sure and I feel like this is very ironic timing when the next year is election season. I promise you right now, you speak negative or controversial about the upcoming 2024 election, you will be banned almost on the spot. Promise you. I promise you could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars for Xbox with live streaming, YouTube, and all that. I promise you they will find a way to just be like, nope, can't speak about it. Controversy. Conspiracy theorist. And maybe they don't, but it is ironic timing. Also, in the words of, what was it, Knights of the Old Republic, very rarely are there ever any true coincidences. Things happen because people put them in place. Things happen that are bad because someone said so. Someone said press the big red button. The only reason why we haven't seen that giant mushroom cloud is because someone is having a lot of gall, and someone has the go-nuts to go up to someone else and be like, stop, don't do that. That's gonna be horrible for the world. That's the only reason why, more or less. I know this is. Yep. Not really. Okay. Alright guys, but I hope y'all enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one, alright? Peace out.